Hello everyone, this is Bhavik Chokshi here and I hope you guys are doing great. Today we would be doing a quick discussion about your last week's study strategy for May 2022 exams for CA Final FR, a quick ABC analysis as well as a few important exam tips. Now we have also shared this video for earlier attempts like July 21, December 21, etc. And if you have viewed that video, broadly the strategy overall remains the same. We have just made a few tweaks here and there, but by and large it remains the same. So I'll just quickly run you through the important points. First, the ABC analysis. As you would be aware, the standard important topics that you just cannot leave would be financial instruments, share-based payments for sure, business combination consolidation. You're definitely getting weightage for all of these, so please do that properly. Revenue and leases to the best extent possible. They're huge standards, but there will be weightage, so revenue and leases to the best extent possible. And then the other important topics like EPS, income taxes, employee benefits, etc. I'll be just sharing the PDF for this as well, so you can refer these ABC analysis, but hopefully you will focus and try to do all that is there in your material. You have a good time before your exams. Please do utilize it properly. Focus on the practical problems of consolidation and financial instruments. Specifically, numerical questions are very likely to come from these two topics. Now, in terms of the study plan, we would want you to first start with share-based payments, which is the lightest of kind of the mandatory questions. So please start with share-based payments, get into the rhythm, invest at least 6 days. I would suggest, I can understand 6 days is apt, but if you have time constraints, then probably 5. I would not advise you to go to 3 and 4 days. Please ensure that it is your first paper. Give around 5 to 6 days for a comfortable and exhaustive preparation. So when we look at the initial part, we would prefer that you start with share-based payments. We have given the time-based allocation based on our experience. You can always kind of keep this as a benchmark and kind of plus or minus a bit of buffer and margin. Start with share-based payments, then move on to financial instruments, which acts as a base for a lot of topics. So do financial instruments, share-based payments properly at the outset. After that, you go to the indices. Don't keep all the indices for the end, and logically all the asset-linked indices like inventory, PP, intangibles, impairment, non-current assets, held for sale, borrowing cost, agriculture, etc. Do all of them, and also do the schedule 3. So that is on the second day, that is 9th of May. Then you move on to leases and then business combination on the 3rd day, and then the very important consolidation on the 4th day with financial instruments, with foreign exchange. So when you're doing consolidation, at least ensure that you practice 2 questions on pen and paper. One is a question which involves certain adjustments like fair value, dividend, etc. If you're looking from the study material, a question on Ram and Krishnan, which I think is in the test your knowledge 2nd or 3rd, which is also there in our books, and one chain holding question. So these 2 questions I would recommend you do it on pen and paper from scratch, so that you get a good feel of the flow of the presentation. After that, on the 5th day, we keep revenue and other important indices which would be left. So on the second last day, that is on 13th of May, we have kept all other indices, the lesser important ones, largely because if need be, you can kind of compress on the time for indices like Index 1, Index 8, Index 10, etc. It's very difficult to compress your time on standards like income taxes, employee benefits, etc. So we have kind of done that earlier, and at the end we have kind of taken the other topics which you can do it fairly quickly. So we have also kept some buffer for a quick recap. Most of the times this buffer will not remain because maybe with your time management, with everyone including us, we would probably go on to the last day as well, but we've just kept a buffer just in case. If time permits, then you can kind of do a quick roundup of the important topics. One important thing that I would want you to remember is do not try to read anything new at this stage. I understand that there would be a temptation that this might come, this might not come, but this is a point where you focus on your strengths. You try to consolidate on your strengths. You don't try to patch up the gaps at this stage. Try to study for around 12 to 14 hours, and it is not as difficult. You can easily manage it. Have fire in the belly and you will be able to do it. This is kind of one of the biggest exams, and you have studied so hard. Ensure that you go with all guns blazing. study 12 to 14 hours and try not to refer new things, new problems at this stage. Whatever you have done, back yourself on that and try to consolidate on your strengths. A few important exam tips would be time management being the most important thing in financial reporting. It is the most difficult paper to finish in your exams. So ensure that you time yourself properly. There is 180 minutes and 100 marks. That's roughly 1.8 marks per minute. And hence try to finish, keep that rule. So 5 marks question in 9 minutes, 10 marks question in 18 minutes. Consolidation may take slightly more. So try to cover that up in smaller index questions. But ensure that you keep an eye on your watch when you're solving the paper. In terms of sequence, well, the compulsory question has to be attempted. So when you have the reading time, there's no point reading the compulsory question because you have to attempt it. Try to glance through the other questions and find out the question which you think is the easiest for you to attempt, and always start with that. That gives you a very good momentum to start with. Do not start with items like consolidation or business combination, longer questions. I mean, if God forbid your balance sheet does not tally, then sometimes hell breaks loose. So try to build the momentum. Don't keep consolidation at the end as well. Do it somewhere at the middle of the paper if you have to attempt it. That is the best place to attempt. In terms of presentation, don't really bother a lot about presentation of what, I mean, it's impossible to write what you see in a suggested answer. So don't think that what is written in the suggested answer has to be reproduced. No, that is not the case. Write in your own words. In case-based questions, kind of explain the law in your own words, connect it to the given case and conclude. In numerical questions, typically you can directly solve, but writing a couple of lines of theory is advisable. But again, depends question to question. If it is a difficult paper, don't really worry. You will generally have lenient checking for that. Ensure that you play the 50 overs play for the entire 3 hours and write as much as possible. Do not really lose your momentum with that. Before your exams, ensure you get a good night's sleep. At least the day before the exam, ensure you get a good night's sleep. You need your brain to be at its best level performance, and the peak level performance does not come with a tired mind. So ensure you get a good night's sleep, and avoid discussing the paper with your friends after the exam. Try to focus on the next paper. So these are very simple rules, basic tricks. Wish you all the very best. Keep faith in yourself, your ability, and you will really get good marks. Wish you all the very best. Take care. God bless you and good luck. Bye-bye.